it's me, Nikki. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I was taking care of a dog for a couple weeks, and I would stay there overnight, and it was really hard to film anything. I did get some reading done, but that's for another video. What's this? Oh, this is my TBR for the Reddit r/fantasy 2024 bingo. I will of course make sure to link that down below. There are 25 prompts, and the books usually have to be fantasy or sci-fi. And they come with a couple of spreadsheets that people use, so I just use a really simple one. And I have my pile of books right here. I've tried to make them all owned, and most of them are book box books to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth. So I'm going to start with I want to make sure I didn't oh no, I'll just start with how it goes. So the first prompt is a book that's first in a series. Doesn't matter what series. So I'm doing The Principle of Moments by Esme Pearson. Sorry if I butchered that. And this is a series. I think there's 2 planned. I don't know if there's more. It's a sci-fi book. It's set in 1812 and 6066, and it has our 2 black leads right there. So then it's an alliterative title, like Legends and Lattes, stuff like that. I was gonna do Legends and Lattes, but I did find this one. If I can find it. Oh, here we go. If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. This is the Fairy Loot version. It is a YA. I think The Principle of Moments is it might be adult. I'm not sure. And this is fantasy or paranormal because Kara speaks to the dead, and there's ghosts. So put them in order. Next is Under the Surface. Let me actually find it. Which here we go. And there's also hard mode, which is just, and then there's hero mode, which is you review every book that you read for the bingo, and hard mode is just a little something extra. You don't have to do either of those things, quite frankly. So first in a series, and hard mode is a series that's more than 3 books long. I don't know if Principle of Moments is, I think it's 2. Oh, there's 3, so did I put yes? I put oh, I should change the more than 3 books. I'll put no. And hard mode for alliterative title is the title has 3 words or more that start with the same letter. So Under the Surface is to read a book with an important setting, either underground or underwater. And then hard mode is at least half the book takes place underground or underwater. And I am doing Skin of the Sea. Yes. Which is also alliterative. So this is by Natasha Bowen. And it's about Simi, and she's a mermaid who collects the souls of the dead, of those who die at sea, and make sure they get back home. So I believe this is underwater for most of the time. So I put yes to the hard mode version of that. Well, I'll put yes, and then I will read it and adjust as needed. So what's the next one? Oh, the next one is Criminals. Read a book in which the main character is a criminal, thief, assassin, someone who commits mail fraud. In hard mode, it features a heist. And I'm doing A Tempest of Tea by Hasfa Faisal. This is her new series. And it is vampires and heists. So it fits. I'm excited to start that one. Okay, next is Dreams. Read a book where characters experience dreams, magical or otherwise. And hard mode is the dream is not mystical or unusual, it's just normal. And I've picked this one. When Night Breaks. This is the sequel to something which I liked. And our main characters, I might have to change it. Where Dreams Descend. This is by Janella Angeles. Yes, like Los Angeles. And this was a Phantom of the Opera retelling. And in the first one, the main character had dreams, and I think she'll still have them. I don't know. I'll read it and then find out, and maybe I'll have to change it. But that was the only thing that came to mind. I'll also make sure to link not only the official card, but it's in there. There is a recommendation list, so if you're stuck on a book, you can go there and ask, or even look and see what people have. The next is up at the top. Entitled Animals. Read a book that has animal in the title. And then hard mode is the animal in the title is a fantasy or sci-fi creature, like a unicorn, a leviathan, a kaiju, a dragon, that kind of stuff. And I've picked... Did I get it? It looks like I didn't get it. Let me get it. I've picked The Silvered Serpents by Roshani Chokshi. Yeah, Roshani Chokshi. This is the sequel to Gilded Wolves, which also works, and it's just a continuation of that. So yeah, I didn't look, I couldn't see any other ones that I own that had an animal, so next is Bards. Read a book in which the primary protagonist is a bard, musician, poet, or storyteller. And hard mode is the character is explicitly called a bard. And I am reading, I don't have a physical, I couldn't find a physical one at all in any of my books, so it is the audio version of The Harp of Kings, which I know very little about. So that'll be interesting. Next is Prologues and Epilogues. Read a book that has either. And hard mode, the book must have both. And I've picked What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I don't know if it has an epilogue. I did not flip to the back. There is an epilogue, so there's also a prologue. I'm excited about this one. It's a YA. It's an Egyptian fantasy with an Argentinian main character, and there's magic. So what's happened? Oh, I've done something. So that will be good as well. Just do it that way. Next is self-published or indie publisher. This one's always really hard for me as well, but the recommendations give a lot of good recommendations. But I know I have this one. It's and the hard mode is self-published, has fewer than 100 ratings on Goodreads, or an indie publisher that has done an AMA with our fantasy. I'm picking The Necessity of Rain by Sarah, I think that's a C. Sarah Korn. Let me see if I can. Yes. And this is LGBTQIA+. So yeah. Excited about that. I'm excited about a lot of these, quite frankly. Next is a romantasy. Just basically that has romance as a main plot. And the hard mode is the main character is LGBTQIA+. And I have picked and read Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. This is not a sequel, but like a side story in the same universe as Winter's Orbit. And the main character is very much LGBTQIA+, and it's a sci-fi, and I really liked it. So we'll talk more about that then. Next is Dark Academia. Read a book that fits the Dark Academia aesthetic. So school, university, blah, blah, blah. And hard mode is the school itself is entirely mundane. And I have picked Prince of Air and Darkness by M.A. Grant. All I know is that there is a school of magic, and it's LGBTQIA+. So that's all I really need to know. I've been trying to read a lot more of LGBTQIA plus books. Next is multi-POV, read a book with at least 3 points of view, hard mode at least 5 points of view, and I have picked To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. Oh, I wasn't even holding it on screen right there. I don't know if there's 5, but I think there's at least 3. So I guess we'll find out when I read it. And this is about 2 sisters who are fighting, basically. And there's gods and magic. So. Next we have published in 2024. So no reprints or new editions. First translations into your language are allowed, and hard mode is the author's first published novel. And I picked Feybound by Sarah El Arafi. I don't know if this is their first novel or not. This is an adult book, and it's about elves and the Fey Court. So I don't like elves in the Fey Court, but people said it was pretty good, and the romance wasn't, mind-numbing, so I'll give it a shot. Next we have A Character with a Disability. Read a book in which the important character has mental or physical, and the main character has a physical or mental ability is for hard mode. And I've picked Iron Widow by Jiren Zhao. I believe there's foot binding in here. And on that is our main character, who's based on Empress Saiten, Boot Saiten. So yeah. And it's got robots. Slated. Next is published in the 1990s. So a book published in the 90s. And hard mode, the author or one of the authors has published something in the last 5 years. And I've picked The First King of Shannara by Terry Brooks. He's still publishing. And this was published in 96, so it counts. And I've already read it. I'm ahead of the game on some. Next is Orcs, Trolls, and Goblins. Read a book featuring orcs, trolls, and goblins. And hard mode, they're a main character. That one was a little hard, but I picked The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. I didn't know that an orc, I think it's an orc, is the main character. But they are, and that's pretty cool. Next is Space Opera. Read a sci-fi book that features large cast of characters, social dynamics, all that stuff. Set primarily in space or in spaceships. Hard mode, written by an author of marginalized gender identity. Woman, trans, non-binary. Ooh, oh, excuse me. And I've picked The Red Scholar's Wake by Eliette D. Bodard. I think it's primarily set in space. There's an interstellar war against piracy, so that's not space opera. And it's LGBTQIA+. Perfect. I just have to do... what was it called? Okay. Author of color. Read a book by author of color. And hard mode must be a debut novel published in the last 5 years. And I've got The Stardust Thief. I think she's an author of color. By Chelsea Abdullah. I'm not certain. I don't know what I thought she was, but I will have to double check. But I do have some books that will count no matter what. And it is a debut novel. I don't know what I thought she was. Maybe I heard she was. I'm not 100% certain. I will double check. Survival is the next prompt. It's to read a book in which the primary goal of the characters and story focuses on survival, like apocalypse, war, high school, and hard mode is no viruses or pandemics. And mine is, I've picked Graceling by Kristen Kashor. And it's basically our main character has to survive, life. These could all change, but I'm hoping not to, basically. Judge a book by its cover. Choose a book because you like its cover. Pick a book. For hard mode, it's pick a book based only on the information available on the cover. No reading the blurb. I have picked Lies We Sing to the Sea by Sarah Underwood. And then the back, I guess, also counts as a cover. So, yes. Which one is this? Leto, Poseidon, Penelope, Odysseus, all that good stuff. Next is set in a small town, which is the primary setting. In hard mode, the small town can be fictional or real, but the broader setting must be in our real world and not a secondary world. And I picked Godly Heathens by H.E. Edgman. I believe is how you pronounce that. This is an LGBTQIA+ novel. And there's lots of good representation. I think there's another prompt that it might fit, but I'm not sure. I'd have to read it first. Next is 5 short stories. And then hard mode is to read the entire anthology. I don't have any in a book collection, so I'm going to have to do the audiobook of Hex Arcade Stories. I was able to find that. So yeah, I think I can put yes to that. So next is Eldritch Creatures. Read a book featuring a being that is uncanny, earthly, or weird, god or monster, another plane or realm, beyond mortal understanding. And hard mode, it's not related to the Cthulhu mythos. I've picked Painted Devils by Margaret Owen. I read a little bit of it, but I don't remember it, so I'm going to have to reread it. And there are definitely beings that are uncanny and weird. Okay. 24 is reference materials. Read a book that features additional material such as a map, etc. And hard mode is a book that contains at least 2 types. Oh, excuse me. And I do have a couple like this, but I've picked Starling House, which would also work for the animals. So yeah, there's stuff. There's a map. I think it's in the back, or there's footnotes or something. Somebody said it, so we'll have to see. And then, oh, here it is. The last one, a book club or read-along book. So any past or active fantasy book club books count. They give you a list, but hard mode is a current one. I don't have a current one, but I do have Burning Roses by S.L. Huang. Yeah, it's just a tiny little thing, so it'll be good. But yeah, that's what I plan on reading. I'm going to try to read 2 books a month. And that I should be able to make it. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Everything, it's all subject to change if I read a book and I feel it fits the prompt better and it's not in this pile. So yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll make sure to link everything down below. If you're joining, let me know. And like and subscribe, I guess, if you wanna. No big deal. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Goodbye.